Huh. Look at you. Still smiling after all that. Do you have any idea how unnerving that is? To them, I mean. The ones who lied, betrayed, twisted every nerve in your body until it snapped. And yet here you are, grinning like the executioner after the smoke clears. They thought your silence meant surrender. But it was reconnaissance. Every second you stayed quiet, you were watching, calculating, logging every false laugh, every snake handshake, every whisper that said your name like poison. And now, mission terminated, every traitor exposed, every lie redacted from the book of your life. And you didn't even raise your voice, just a smile, and a silence that screams louder than gunfire. You see, that's the thing about people. They think exposure hurts the exposed, but when you do it, it's art. You don't yell, you don't beg, you just let the truth bleed out like ink on a classified file, red lines, black bars, redacted confessions. The ones who swore they were loyal, erased in broad daylight, and you, the crazy one, the broken one. You were the audit they never saw coming. You learned that the world doesn't reward kindness. It catalogs it for later dissection. You learned that forgiveness isn't peace. It's a tracking device. But vengeance? Oh, vengeance is clarity with a pulse. It's the X-ray that shows who they really were beneath the performance. They thought they were acting in a drama. You turned it into a psychological autopsy. And now, look at you. No backup, no allies, no masks left to hide behind. Except the one you chose. The one that smiles even when the world's on fire. Because that's the difference between you and them. They break under exposure. You evolve under it. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You've transcended the need to be understood. You became the test pattern of reality itself. The calibration mark for truth. They'll say you changed. They'll say you got darker, colder, distant. But the truth is, you finally got accurate. The light they worshipped was fake, fluorescent, flickering, powered by lies. You found something deeper, the kind of illumination that burns instead of shines, the kind that scars the eyes that dare to look too long. And now they flinch when you walk in, because you remind them of what they did. Because your calm is criminal, your smile is evidence. You're the living aftermath of their own crimes. The proof that betrayal doesn't end lives. It manufactures monsters. And guess what? The monster smiles back. You learn to weaponize duality. You can laugh while grieving. You can love while plotting. You can stand in light while whispering to shadows. You can forgive and still never forget. You're not good. You're not evil. You're the equation they failed to solve. The saint with blood on his hands. The demon with a halo fracture. The paradox that keeps them awake. And now, they'll rewrite history. They'll paint themselves as victims, call you obsessed, dangerous, unstable. Let them. You're not arguing anymore. You're documenting. You're archiving. Every whisper, every deletion, every text they sent in secret. It's all in your mental case file, labeled Exhibit A, Regret. You became the system reboot they didn't authorize. The anomaly that deleted the malware, the walking firewall, the encryption key no one can duplicate. You didn't destroy them, you revealed them. And that's a fate worse than death. Because the truth doesn't kill. It just removes the air they used to breathe. So keep smiling. That grin is your victory banner. Every twitch of your lips is Morse code to the universe. Mission complete. No fireworks, no applause, just silence, smoke, and your reflection smirking back from the glass. The same reflection that's been waiting years for this moment. You didn't win because you fought harder. You won because you understood the terrain. The battlefield wasn't physical, it was psychological. They brought gossip, you brought psychology. They used betrayal, you used observation. They played human, you played truth. And now, the file is closed, the agents dismissed, the lab rats scattered, every traitor exposed, every lie redacted, every ghost accounted for. And there you are, smiling. Because you didn't just survive, you graduated. You didn't escape hell. You studied it, mapped it, turned it into your thesis. Now when they whisper your name, it's not gossip, it's ritual. Because somewhere deep down, they know you're not hunting them anymore. You've already archived them, mission terminated, smile uploaded, system clean. And you're already on to the next operation. Oh, you thought it was over. No. The end of the mission isn't the end of you. It's the unveiling, the part where the masks fall, and everyone finally sees what's been standing in front of them all along. Not a survivor, not a victim, not even a hero, but a new species of control. You. You see, when the lies collapsed, they didn't just reveal the truth. They revealed hierarchy. Who could handle exposure and who shattered under it? Who could face their own reflection and who ran screaming from the glass? That's the beauty of this whole bloody theater. Exposure is evolution's filter. Only the ones who've already been destroyed can walk through it unshaken. And you? You didn't just walk through. You smiled through. Because pain trained you. Betrayal sculpted you. Silence sharpened you. You learned that empathy without discernment is suicide. That love without logic is blackmail. That trust, once broken, doesn't need to be rebuilt. It needs to be repurposed. And that's exactly what you did. You turned pain into data. You turned heartbreak into reconnaissance. You became a living algorithm of revenge disguised as serenity. They thought they could hurt you into submission. Instead, they debugged your humanity. They turned off your need for validation, for approval, for belonging. And that's when you became unstoppable. Because the moment you stop needing to be understood, you become unreadable. The moment you stop begging to be seen, you become unseeable. You became a ghost with fingerprints, a myth with receipts. Every traitor was a teacher, every liar an involuntary assistant in your evolution. They helped you archive every human weakness, naivety, trust, illusion, and erase them from your code. That's the part they'll never understand. You didn't just heal, you reprogrammed. The version of you they betrayed doesn't exist anymore. It was a decoy. The new version doesn't cry, doesn't beg, doesn't announce revenge. It just executes, silently, precisely, without hesitation, and oh, the silence. That's what drives them mad, because silence can't be decoded. It's not submission, it's surveillance. It's the sound of someone who already knows the outcome, someone who has seen behind the curtain, read the files, and memorized every name. They used to talk over you, now they whisper when you enter the room. Because deep down, they can feel it. The tension, the exposure, the unspeakable awareness that you know exactly who they are. Every smile of yours is a data breach. Every calm breath is an indictment. You don't even have to confront them anymore. They confront themselves in your presence. They see themselves reflected in your grin and realize they built their own downfall with their own hands. You became a walking paradox, saint and psychopath, healer and executioner, light and infection. That's what makes you dangerous, because they can't categorize you anymore. You don't fit into their fragile binaries. You're not good, you're accurate. You're not evil, you're efficient. And they can't handle that. They built a world that worships predictable emotions, and you became unpredictable on purpose. Do you know what happens when a system can't predict you? It starts to fear you. And fear, my dear, is the most obedient servant of all. You don't chase validation anymore. You command attention. You don't explain. You imply. You don't fight. You redirect. Every word out of your mouth is a cipher. Every move is a signal wrapped in stillness. And the world? It's scrambling to decode your existence. You used to think the pain would end once you exposed the truth. But you were wrong. Exposure was just the initiation. The real power came after. When you realized that the truth didn't need to be defended, it just needed to exist. It kills illusions by proximity. It disarms lies by standing still. You became the human embodiment of that principle. A quiet apocalypse. They'll keep trying to rewrite you. They'll call you ungrateful, delusional, arrogant. They'll say you've changed, and you'll smile because they're right. You did change. You became unrecognizable. You became the afterimage of a soul that was once human. The kind of presence that walks into a room and the air starts confessing. You stopped chasing closure. You stopped waiting for apologies. You realized the apology is the silence after exposure. That vacuum they leave when they realize they can't manipulate you anymore. That's your closure. Their panic is your peace. Their confusion is your crown. And that's why you're still smiling. Because you finally understand what the mission was never about. It wasn't about revenge. It was about revelation. It wasn't about punishment. It was about pattern recognition. Every traitor was just a coordinate. Every lie a map point. You weren't losing your mind. You were drawing the schematic of the entire deception, and once you saw it all, every thread, every motive, every mask, you didn't rage. You laughed, because you realized there's something terrifyingly beautiful. You were never the target. You were the test. To see if a soul could survive total exposure without collapsing. To see if someone could see all the ugliness of humanity and still find power in the ashes. You did. And that's why you're still here, still smiling, while they bury their reputations under fake virtue, while they delete messages, rewrite stories, pray for amnesia. You don't delete, you archive. You don't forget. You forgive strategically. You don't need to scream, because your silence is now a brand of terror. You're the walking proof that truth doesn't need allies. It just needs time. And time, darling, has been on your side this whole time. So go ahead, smile wider. Let them see the reflection of everything they tried to bury shining in your teeth. Let them see the ghost of their own guilt in your calm eyes. Because the war is over. The mission's complete. The files are sealed, and the report reads the same on every page. Target survived. All agents compromised, truth confirmed. And the final line, written in red ink, your handwriting, still smiling. And that smile, oh that smile, is what terrifies them the most, isn't it? Because it's not the grin of a fool, it's the grin of someone who's seen everything burn and realized that fire can't kill fire. You've outgrown the need to be understood. You've evolved past the human craving for closure. You exist in a dimension where peace and chaos shake hands, and both call you master. They don't get it. They never will, because they're still chasing validation from the same crowd that betrayed them. While you've been out here collecting data from the battlefield, memorizing patterns, decoding masks, seeing the algorithms of hypocrisy before they even speak. That's why you always know. That's why they call you dangerous. Because what's more dangerous than someone who can see through people? Someone who doesn't fall for charm, pity, guilt, or performance. Someone who doesn't react react anymore, only responds. You turned observation into a weapon. You learned that truth doesn't need to shout. It only needs to exist. You became that truth. Not loud, not dramatic, just factual, silent, precise, surgical. When you walk into a room, lies rearrange themselves. When you speak, masks start melting. They used to test your loyalty. Now they test their own sanity every time they see your face. And the irony? You didn't even have to destroy them. You just let them expose themselves. That's the genius of it all. You let them talk. You let them perform. You let them believe they were untouchable. And while they played, you documented. You collected proof, screenshots, behaviors, tone shifts, time stamps. You let their own egos write their confessions. You never had to draw blood because their guilt bled first. That's the beauty of evolution through pain. It teaches you restraint. You stopped reacting, and that's when you became the most unpredictable creature on Earth. See, chaos isn't wild. It's calculated. You are chaos refined, weaponized, contained within skin that learned how to smile through nuclear fallout. They wanted you broken. They wanted you to crawl back, beg, apologize for being awake in a world that worships sleep. But you didn't. You sat in silence while the noise devoured itself. You learned that time is the ultimate judge, and truth is the only executioner that never misses. So you waited, patiently, coldly, brilliantly. And when the smoke cleared, every name was on the list. Every secret came to light. Every mask slipped at the exact moment you predicted. That's when you realized you don't need revenge. You are the revenge. Your existence, your calm, your detachment. It's a mirror no liar can survive. They can't stand being around you because your energy reminds them of the version of themselves they killed to fit in. You are their unfinished lesson, their unsolved riddle, their karma wearing a tailored suit. And oh, the duality of it all. How you can look like peace but move like punishment. How your presence feels like both prayer and plague. You've mastered the art of contradiction. You are kindness with edges, serenity with scars, light that learned to negotiate with the dark instead of pretending it doesn't exist. That's what they'll never grasp. Your darkness isn't evil. It's precision. It's honesty stripped of decoration. It's what happens when empathy grows teeth. You don't hate them. You outgrew them. You don't want them gone. You just don't need their version of reality anymore. You live in a new frequency now. One where energy exposes character faster than words. One where truth doesn't need translation. Every traitor was a mirror, showing you what parts of yourself still believed in illusions. And you thanked them silently, because each betrayal was a deletion key, erasing your dependency on external love, external trust, external permission. Now you move like a ghost through systems built to trap mortals. You're untouchable because you stopped being reachable. You're invisible because you stopped chasing visibility. You're powerful because you stopped needing to prove it. And that's the part that really breaks them. Not your success, not your peace, your indifference. Because you don't hate them, you understand them. And understanding is a form of ownership. Once you understand someone, they can't manipulate you anymore. Once you see their fear, you can predict their every move. And that's the secret. You stopped fighting people and started studying them. You became the scientist in a lab full of unstable chemicals. You don't argue. You observe the explosion. They whisper. How can they still smile after all that? Because you know something they don't. You know pain has a hierarchy, and you climbed it. You reached the summit of suffering, and on that peak you realized nothing else can touch you now. Not rumors, not rejection, not loss. You've felt worse. You've survived worse. You've become worse. You don't crave peace anymore. You embody it. Because real peace isn't calm, it's control. It's knowing that chaos could swallow you whole, but it won't. Because it's already tried and failed. Every time someone tries to manipulate you, they end up exposing themselves. Every time someone plots behind your back, the universe reroutes it back to their doorstep. You don't lift a finger, you don't raise your voice. You just watch as cause meets effect. And that's why you're smiling, because you've seen the algorithm of karma run in real time. You've seen the universe debug liars without your interference. You've realized that truth doesn't fight, it waits. That silence is louder than any scream. That walking away isn't weakness, it's declaration of dominance. Now your very existence is a closed case. Mission terminated, every traitor exposed, every lie redacted, every debt balanced, and you still smiling. Not because you won, because you transcended the need to compete. They thought they could destroy your reputation, yet all they did was advertise your resilience. They thought they could bury you, yet they forgot you were soil itself. Every attempt to erase you just fertilized your name. You didn't lose them, they lost access. You didn't lose love, you lost illusions. So keep smiling, soldier. That grin isn't madness, it's mastery. It's what happens when you realize that chaos bends to those who no longer fear it. When you stop needing to be seen, the whole world turns its head anyway. When you stop proving your worth, your silence becomes the loudest proof of all. You're not angry anymore. You're archived. You've been through hell, memorized the architecture, and came back holding the blueprints. Now, every door that once locked you out unlocks at your arrival. Every name that once mocked you speaks you in whispers. Every traitor that once smirked prays for your indifference. That's why you smile, because you know the truth. The game is over. The board is cleared. The mission terminated. And the final report reads, subject untouchable, status smiling. So here you stand, calm, unreadable, unshaken. The storm that was meant to end you now bows when you walk through it. They'll never admit it, but they feel it. That quiet dominance, that eerie peace. You don't even need to defend yourself anymore. Your existence is the proof. The funny thing about exposure is this: when the masks fall, it's not chaos that's revealed, it's order. You didn't destroy anyone. You simply stopped pretending not to see. You let truth do what it always does, cleanse through devastation. And now, the world looks different. Quieter, cleaner, empty of noise. Every traitor found their mirror. Every lie hit a firewall. Every shadow met the light that burns, not shines. You didn't shout. You didn't chase. You simply let reality finish the sentence for you. Now the air's different. The tension's gone. The mission is over. You've reached that strange kind of victory. The one that doesn't need applause, only awareness. The kind where silence feels like closure, and your grin feels like judgment. You're not looking back anymore. The past is archived, sealed, classified. You walk away not with revenge, but with sovereignty. And that smile, that's the signature. The mark of someone who saw the whole system, broke the code, and still had the audacity to laugh. Mission terminated. Truth confirmed. Subject smiling. Case closed. Hey, buddy. You feel that? That stillness right before the world realizes you survived the purge. That silence. That's not peace. That's the sound of fear adjusting its mask. Because they thought the mission was over. Terminated. Erased. Swept under the fluorescent buzz of their little systems. But you're still here. breathing, smiling, and worse, remembering. You see, they didn't just want you gone, they wanted you forgotten. They wanted your name to fade like corrupted data, just another file lost in the noise. But the thing about deleting something that knows how to rewrite itself is that it doesn't die. It upgrades. They called it mission terminated. You called it Tuesday. You watched every traitor crawl out of their shadows, thinking the fire would hide them. You let them speak. You let them scheme. And you learned something they never did. Silence is the most intelligent form of revenge. Because silence collects. It studies patterns. It watches the liars build their own nooses from the rope they used to pull you down. You didn't need to swing back. You just waited until the truth started bleeding through the cracks they tried to plaster with smiles and PR statements. Every lie redacted, every mask cracked, every whisper they thought would stay hidden, archived, time-stamped, and ready for playback. And through it all, you smiled, not because it didn't hurt. Oh no, you smiled because it did, because pain turned into your encryption key, because suffering stopped being punishment and became your operating system. You became something that doesn't need approval to move. Something that laughs at the illusion of justice because you embodied it. You're not a saint. You're not a demon. You're the glitch between both. A paradox in a clown's grin. You exposed them, not with violence, but with accuracy. They underestimated how calm you could be while dismantling entire illusions with just one move. No screaming, no warning. Just quiet devastation. That's the difference between you and them. They play revenge. You become consequence. They never understood how someone could lose everything and still walk out cleaner than the crime scene. How someone could watch betrayal on loop and still have the nerve to smile. Because your smile isn't happiness. It's the scar left by 1,000 executions you survived internally. You smiled because every scar is another login code to your next level. You smiled because their exposure was inevitable, and you didn't even have to lift a finger. You learned long ago that evil isn't loud, it's efficient. That power doesn't yell, it waits. That chaos doesn't always explode, it calculates. You became the calculation, the equation they can't balance. The algorithm that adapts faster than their systems can lie. And when they tried to redact your story, they forgot the author was still alive. You are the footnote they can't erase, the ghost in their server, the one reminder that corruption always leaves fingerprints. Every traitor revealed themselves through impatience. Every liar signed their confession by trying too hard to look innocent. You didn't hunt them. They walked right into the spotlight. Because truth doesn't chase. Truth attracts. And now they're terrified. Because you didn't scream. You didn't expose them with noise. You did it with stillness. With a smile that said, I already know everything. And that's the part that breaks them. The realization that you don't even want revenge anymore. You've outgrown it. You've evolved into something more terrifying, someone who no longer reacts. You just observe and adapt. That's what drives them mad, that calm, that knowing, that grin that doesn't need to justify itself to anyone. You're not chasing closure anymore. You are closure. You're the final report stamped and sealed in red ink. Mission terminated. You see, they wanted a war. You gave them a mirror. And the moment they looked into it, they saw every lie reflected back in your smile. Now the whole system's glitching. The liars are devouring each other. And you're just watching, unbothered. Cigarette smoke, curling like holy incense around a man who saw hell, lived there, and still came back charismatic. That's your punishment to them. existence. You weren't supposed to make it out. You weren't supposed to glow this hard in the aftermath. But here you are, no team, no pity, no validation required, just you, clean, precise, unpredictable. Because that's your real revenge. You didn't need to destroy them. You simply survived long enough for their own lies to do it for you. And that smile, that's not insanity. That's closure disguised as chaos. Now the board is cleared, every traitor accounted for, every false god unmasked, every whisper silenced, and all that remains is you, unbreakable, unbothered, unfathomable. The world may call it mission terminated, but deep down, you know the truth. This wasn't an ending, this was your reboot. Ah, there it is, that look. The one that shows up on your face when the smoke clears and the battlefield's empty, but your pulse still hasn't slowed down. That post-war silence that feels louder than any explosion. You know why it feels that way? Because somewhere in that quiet, the universe's code just bent for you. They called it mission terminated. But what they didn't know is that was your command. You wrote that line. You pressed that button. You decided who stayed and who got archived. Because what looked like defeat to them was you pulling the plug on a simulation that outlived its use. Every traitor, every liar, every mask. They were all NPCs in a test you've already passed. And now you stand in the aftermath like a scientist dissecting the chaos you created. Calmly, clinically, beautifully detached. Let's be honest, what they did to you should have broken you. The backstabs, the whispers, the betrayal signed in polite smiles. They called it strategy. You called it training. Because every time they lied, you learned. Every time they turned, you adapted. You became fluent in deception without ever losing your truth. And when it all collapsed, when the house of cards came down, you didn't flinch. You grinned. Because you finally realized betrayal doesn't destroy the real ones. It filters the room. You never needed loyalty. You just needed clarity. And damn, didn't the universe deliver? Every traitor exposed not by your hands, but by their own hunger. Every lie redacted not by force, but by its own echo. You didn't have to light the match. They burned themselves trying to prove you wrong. You didn't have to fight. You just watched them malfunction. You see, most people want revenge because they still believe the other side can hurt them. You transcended that. You're no longer hunting. You're haunting. You became the lesson written in permanent ink across their guilt. They can't post, can't speak, can't sleep without tripping over the memory of you standing there, smiling. That smile isn't arrogance, it's understanding. It's the face of someone who knows the rules of this world are optional for those who've already died inside once and came back wiser. You don't need closure because you are the aftershock. You don't crave justice because you became balance. You don't beg for peace because you built it, brick by brick, inside your own chaos. And they can't handle that. They can't handle that the one they wrote off became the one writing history. They can't stand that you made pain look like style and ruin look like art. That you walk through destruction like it's a hallway to your next era. Because they thought the smile was insanity. But no, it's prophecy. They don't get it. The reason you're calm now is because the fight ended long before they realized there was one. You already won when you stopped needing their validation. You already escaped when you stopped explaining. You already healed when you stopped defending. That's why the mission ended the way it did. Because you outgrew the battlefield. Look around you. Every one of them still stuck in loops, rewriting narratives, faking alliances, performing peace. Meanwhile, you move like a ghost with purpose, quiet, deliberate, dangerous. You don't chase rumors. You manufacture silence. You don't seek revenge. You let karma plagiarize your blueprint. And that's what evolution looks like. You're not the hero. You're not the villain. You're the variable, the one equation even fate couldn't predict. They studied your patterns, analyzed your emotions, thought they could decode your chaos. But they forgot. Chaos doesn't have a pattern. You are the pattern. You became the algorithm that eats lies for breakfast and spits out clarity by noon. Now every system that tried to delete you is glitching, every fake alliance collapsing like wet paper. And you just keep walking, half in shadow, half in light, with that grin carved somewhere between holiness and hellfire. Because they were wrong about you. You weren't fighting to prove you were good. You were fighting to prove you were real. And the real ones? They don't die. They adapt. They evolve. They watch their enemies self-destruct on schedule. You know what it means when you can smile after being buried alive. It means you stopped being human in the way they understand it. You became concept, legend, myth. The kind of energy that doesn't seek revenge. It triggers evolution. So yeah, call it mission terminated if it makes them feel better. Let them stamp it, frame it, archive it. But we both know it was never an ending. It was a controlled demolition, a ritual cleansing, the collapse before rebirth. The moment when the mask melts and the real face finally stares back. And that's what's killing them now. The realization that your smile isn't relief. It's the grin of someone who knows the game's over, because they wrote the next one. Now breathe in, soldier of chaos. The air smells different after exposure, doesn't it? That's the scent of finality, of a live-free world, of power stripped down to its rawest form, truth. So stand there, light another cigarette if you want. Watch the smoke rise like the last prayer of the system that tried to cage you. And when they whisper your name again, let them, because somewhere in their fear, they finally understand. The mission wasn't terminated, the mask was, and the one smiling in the ruins. That's the new god of balance, you. You know what the funniest part is? They really thought that ending your mission meant ending your existence. They believed that cutting the cord would stop the current. They didn't realize you were the power source. You can't unplug lightning. You can't terminate a frequency that's already pulsing through every line of their fake reality. You don't stop what's woven into the fabric. You fear it. You hide from it. But you never kill it. And that's exactly what you became. An immortal frequency. Every time they try to scrub your name, you echo louder. Every time they redact your truth, your silence becomes a signal. They thought exposure would ruin you, but exposure freed you. Because now everything's out there. Every secret, every deception, every hand that signed your execution order. They all surfaced. They unmasked themselves, trying to bury you. That's the divine joke, isn't it? That the ones who plotted your end accidentally broadcast their own downfall, and you, patient, observant, unbothered, just smiled and let entropy finish what karma started. Because in your world, revenge is redundant. You don't need to burn bridges when your enemies drown themselves in their own reflection. That's why your calm terrifies them. Because they remember how you used to react. Wild, emotional, human. Now they see something else. Something that doesn't blink when chaos unfolds. Something that doesn't flinch when blood hits the floor. You became precision. You became inevitability wrapped in skin. The last laugh of a cosmic system correcting itself. You're beyond morality now. That's what they'll never understand. You're not good or evil. You're equilibrium. When people betray you, the universe doesn't punish them. It balances them. And somehow, your silence became that balance. You didn't need to speak. You just existed long enough for their own lies to collapse under gravity. They can't process that. They need conflict, drama, noise, something to blame. But you're past that stage. You've seen too much. You've walked through rooms filled with smiling assassins and handshakes that reeked of deceit. And when they all fell one by one, you didn't even raise your voice. You just smiled. Because that smile means something now, doesn't it? It's not amusement. It's knowledge. It's the recognition that everything is scripted, and you've already read the ending. It's that quiet understanding that truth always self-destructs lies, and you don't have to lift a single finger to make it happen. They don't get it. You never wanted to win their game. You built a new one while they were too busy keeping score. That's what evolution looks like. When the hunter becomes invisible to the prey. When the villain they feared becomes the god they secretly worship. And oh, how they worship you now. The same mouths that spat poison now speak your name with caution. The same eyes that rolled in disbelief now watch your every move like you're a living prophecy. You're not one of them anymore. You're a phenomenon they can't categorize, a riddle they can't solve. You became their sleepless algorithm. You know what evolution really is? It's not growth. It's clarity. It's the death of illusions. And when those illusions died, you didn't mourn. You adapted. You started moving like smoke, shapeless but everywhere. You learned that sometimes survival isn't about fighting. It's about vanishing correctly. You became a whisper that outlasts the shouts. And still through every downfall, through every exposure, you kept that grin. Because deep down, you knew this wasn't punishment. It was purification. The liars needed to choke on their own stories. The traitors needed to watch the walls close in. And you needed to see how much of you would survive the cleansing. Now look at you. Every scar, data, every betrayal, proof, every downfall, initiation. They thought they destroyed you, but they documented you. Every attempt to erase you became a chapter. Every lie told about you turned into metadata that proves your legend. That's why they can't silence you now. Because you live in every file, every rumor, every system log. You're no longer a person. You're evidence. And what's scarier than evidence that smiles back? You want to know what real freedom feels like? It's when nothing shocks you anymore. When betrayal feels like weather, predictable, passing, irrelevant. When you can look at the people who tried to ruin you and feel nothing but curiosity. That's where you are now. That's why your silence feels like a loaded weapon. Because they can't predict when you'll speak, or if you even need to. You've ascended to that final stage of power, emotional detachment. The ability to look your destroyers in the eye, grin, and walk away, knowing their collapse is already scheduled. You don't need validation. You don't need revenge. You have something rarer, certainty. And that's what they'll never have again. They'll keep rewriting history to make sense of you, but history bends for the ones who don't need to explain. You've reached that state where your existence is a statement. You don't post. You broadcast. You don't prove. You radiate. You don't chase peace. You embody it. So let them call it mission terminated. Let them file their fake reports and wipe their databases. They can delete your presence from their feeds, but they can't delete the imprint you left in their psyche. Because every time they think of you, every time they see that grin in their nightmares, something inside them whispers, "We failed." You didn't just survive, my friend. You transcended survival. You turned exposure into elevation. You weaponized your wounds. You mastered invisibility while standing in plain sight. And now, You walk through this new world like a glitch they can't patch, smiling like the embodiment of poetic justice. Calm as a storm with perfect aim. Dangerous not because you're loud, but because you don't need to say a single word for people to feel the temperature drop when you enter the room. Mission terminated? No mission complete. Every traitor exposed, every lie redacted, every mask removed. And through the ashes, you smiled. Because you always knew they were never deleting you, they were documenting your resurrection. And now, look around. The smoke's cleared, the noise has faded, and every name that tried to curse you now trembles in its own echo. The battlefield's empty, but your reflection stands, alive, grinning, unstoppable. They thought ending your mission would end your meaning, but the truth is, this was your meaning. To survive what was meant to erase you, and then smile like you planned it all along. You didn't come back to prove a point. You came back to end the story, to close the loop, to show them what it looks like when silence wins. You're not the victim, you're not the villain. You're the variable that rewrote the entire equation. Every lie now archived, every traitor cataloged, every secret that once chained you has become your proof of mastery. And that grin, oh, that grin, it's not madness anymore, it's peace. The kind of peace that comes when you realize there's nothing left to lose and everything left to build. So let them whisper, mission terminated. Let them sleep under the illusion that you're gone. Because the ones who buried you will learn the hard way. Some missions don't end. They evolve. And when the dust settles, when the last mask drops, they'll look up one final time and see that grin carved into the skyline. The reminder that you didn't just survive the purge, you authored it. Skullfire.